Hey everybody, this is Safia Marco, Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here. And I am here today for something very special and yet very strange. So, last week I was supposed to do this. I had an idea. I need to do some content for Patreon because I do have a patron. And I was thinking of doing a drunk commentary for Scream 4 because I still need to watch that and I still need to do rankings for all the Scream movies and all that crap. And so what happened, though, was I was going to do Scream 4 in honor of Hayden Panettiere dying. And then today, Tim Curry died. And that was just pretty sad. So, I am going to do Clue with Tim Curry. And I have gotten the Chili's Shark Attack Margarita. I have also gotten the Chili's El Presidente Margarita, and I have had the President one before. It's actually pretty good, it's like a solid, typical margarita. I have tried the Shark Attack, and I'm not a huge fan. I think that, let's try it again. It has a weird flavor. Underneath, there's this blue raspberry flavor, but then underneath that, I know that it has alcohol, okay? But underneath that, there's a very strange flavor that just doesn't really meld with, it just doesn't mix with me, okay? So we're going to be doing Clue. 1985. And by the way, guys, Martin Mull, Colonel Mustard, he died a couple weeks ago. And I wonder why nobody's mentioning that, by the way. Everyone's talking about, another Home Alone guy died. Nobody's talking about fucking Colonel-ass Mustard. Yeah. So let's go. Clue. I really love this movie. I used to watch this movie every time I would go to the dentist as a kid, which I hated. I would go to the... Oh, shit, it's too loud. I almost was fuck that. There we go. Might as well turn it all the way down to that. I could watch this movie without the sound on, practically. But when I was a kid, I would go to the dentist, and afterwards, I would go to Hollywood Video, and I would get Clue on a pretty consistent basis to where, if I knew I was going to the dentist, I also knew I was going to get Clue afterwards. And there was also one time where I got a miniature pool set. It was at, I think, CVS or the dollar store, and it was this little mini pool thing, and it really sucked. So right off the bat here, this is a very interesting movie. I always thought this is one of the best movies ever made. And the reason is because instead of treating it like a board game movie, they actually treat it like a movie. You start off with this really interesting kind of music, this kind of creepy music, this creepy atmosphere, and it just sets the scene. It sets the scene for what's about to come. And Tim Curry, this really is his movie. I mean, if Tim Curry wasn't in this movie, it would be okay. It would be a B- or a C+. But he really completes the movie, his performance is perfect. And the movie has a certain high amp energy. And God, look at that beautiful mansion thing that I think it burned down in real life. Yeah. So anyways, this as I was saying before, like, I feel like other board game movies, I don't know like what the other ones are, but the other potential ones, especially coming up, there's going to be a Monopoly movie, probably a Gayopoly movie. And I feel like those movies, they're going to have a certain feeling about them. They're going to be very ugly and desaturated. They're not going to look like a real movie like this one does. I mean, this actually looks like a real, legitimate movie, and it has a very good style to it. It has a very moody style. In fact, I would go so far as to say that, like, I don't know why, like, I see all these movies, these good movies from the past, and I don't know why, like, more movies don't try to recreate that feel and that look, that atmosphere. Because it's like, look at how well it worked here. Like, why don't you want to copy what worked? It's like a formula. You don't have to copy the story and stuff like that, but, like, just the whole vibe of this movie, I really like it. And you know what else I feel is going to happen in these board game movies? Number one, they're not going to have anyone sexy like Yvette. They're not going to have that at all. I mean, if they do, they're going to comment on it and about how bad it is and how wrong it is or something. I can't believe I have the volume down at, like, number 2, number 5, and, like, that's actually good enough. Let's just turn it up to 8. This chef is so, like, nonchalant. Like, she's kind of creepy, but she's so, like, casual, and they have this creepy music over her. Like, like, what's she gonna do to someone? Now, here's Colonel Mustard. And, oh, God, I didn't even realize. I'm not gonna pause. You guys realize, right? You realize... And right off the bat, too, they fixed the issue of, like, oh, these are really funny sounding names, like Colonel Mustard, Professor Plum, Mrs. White. It's really, like, intelligent how they solved that issue right off the bat by saying these are all aliases. But something else is that, like, you guys realize Colonel Mustard is the first guest. You realize that these two people that, this movie starts off with, they're both dead now. They're both dead. Oh, wait, yeah, here's Mrs. White. Yeah. I mean, this is a little change that they made. I mean, they have this woman who... She doesn't even really have any white on her outfit at all. She's got black hair, and yet they call her Mrs. White. And then they have Yvette, and she's dressed like Mrs. White from the game. And right off the bat, you got great jokes. Ooh. I mean, the dialogue in this movie, I really don't think that this movie would have worked without this supreme dialogue. And as I was saying a million times before, I feel like in the new board game movies, they're not going to have smart dialogue like this. They're going to have meta comedy. They're going to have dialogue like, oh, wow, this is like a board game. Wow. Oh, I want to end my turn. I want to roll the dice on you, on love, or something. Like, they're going to have some stupid lines like that. And this is something that I've even struggled with sometimes, is that, like, people don't want that I think that people are sick of meta humor. I think they're sick and tired of it. I think that it really wore out its welcome. And here we have Christopher Lloyd. I was going to say Christopher Lee. I haven't hardly had any of the blue drink yet. You know what I think, guys, is that like I shouldn't have even gotten this. Oh yeah, here's Mrs. Peacock. She's pretty creepy, you know. I mean, those glasses and everything, those old 1950s glasses. She looks like she's in the 1950s. Yeah. But Christopher Lloyd, I've actually met him. He's the only person of this whole cast, and here is the incredible Michael McKean. He is one of the best actors. He is I wonder like what movie of his I haven't seen besides, I think this is Spinal Tap. There's got to be some other like gold movies of his that I haven't seen that I need to see. I mean, he was in Coneheads. That movie is very good, very underrated. But yeah, Christopher Lloyd, I met him back in 2016 for like a photo op, Back to the Future photo op. He was pretty cool. I didn't get to talk to him. I never know, because I don't really like autographs, you know, like I don't really care about getting someone's autograph, but I like getting like a picture. I like, you know, actually seeing the picture years later, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And so I know that in autographs you get to talk a little bit more, but in these photo ops you just go up to the guy and, you know, they're like, hey, and then you go, hey, and then you get a picture. It's to me it's kind of a ripoff. And Christopher Lloyd had very specific rules where you were not allowed to touch him at all. Like, you could not put your arm around him. And I understood, you know, because he's older. But he's the only celebrity I've ever, you know, taken a picture with that I've ever had that rule with. But I understand completely. But he was fine. He was a nice person. I would have liked to have talked to him longer. Yeah. And right off the bat, too. Oh, shit. I love I think that Mr. Green, he has grown to become my favorite character in this movie, because I just love how weak and pathetic he is the whole movie. And they make these gay jokes about him the whole movie, about like, oh, he's fruity, he's a fruit, and, you know, because that's his supposed story. And then at the end it's like, no, he's an FBI guy, he's a total badass. I thought that was a great idea. And right off the bat, too, I know that this movie's like, how many minutes in? It's about 10 minutes in. But, let me zoom into this movie. It's a very well shot movie, you know, like, the other day I was watching this Friday the 13th ripoff, You're All Doomed. And it was a fun movie to watch, you know, because it made for a very good review if you guys are interested. But it was so terribly shot, you know. They had all these terrible close-ups. I got so sick and tired of seeing these close-up shots, like every single scene. And, you know, like this movie, I mean, it's just beautiful. Like these medium shots, wide shots. You get to actually see all these people's full frames, and it becomes a lot more interesting and theatrical. You know, it becomes so much more pleasant to watch than like, here's a really close-up shot, here's a really close-up shot. And here we have the soup scene. I used to do this soup thing as a kid all the time. All the time. And yeah, it was very annoying, but I would do it all the time because of this movie, and I had to be told, stop! Don't do that! So, I gotta be honest, guys, I'm not even watching. Oh shit, I just pulled the thing off the microphone, the earphone. I don't even need to really hear the sound. Like, I've seen this movie a million times. I love it. Yeah. You know something else that this movie really does well? Besides the fact that, like, these people are incredibly dressed, for their characters. Very realistically dressed. They don't really have these absurd, like, caricature costumes like they do in the game, which I think was a great choice. But as I was going to say, what was I going to say? I'm already pretty pooped out. Oh yeah. God, what was I gonna say? I'm too busy staring at the boobs. This movie's got some great boobs. That's one of the things that makes it so classic, like, you can't make a classic movie without a good set of boobs, Yeah. Oh, this is one of my favorite lines. They're eating these, quote unquote monkeys brains, and Tim Curry just turns around and he's like, because he already knows all about her. But oh yeah, okay. So I was gonna say, one of the great things that this movie does is that, just like in the game, I think this is probably what the writers must have asked themselves when they first started, making this movie, was like, okay, like, you have Professor Plum, Miss Scarlet, Mrs. White, whatever. Who are these people? Like, what kind of people are these people? And that's the way that this movie starts off, is you have these people, you don't know anything about them, and they get revealed as the movie goes on, and that makes the movie so much more interesting. Because it's a mystery. I do wonder, what is it that they're actually eating? Because I know that it's not monkey's brains. I know that it looks like a salad that's covered in marshmallow fluff or something. You know something else that I like, and I know that this is a bit of a personal rant. Oh shit. It's getting real. Here's Mr. Body. Mr. Body. You know something I would have liked to have seen in this movie, to be honest, was like a director's cut with like some flashbacks or something. Because, like, I just want to see, like, these people, like, in these scenes. Like, later on you get all these reveals through dialogue. I really wish we could have gotten, like, a scene where, like, Mr. Body, because Mr. Body is actually the butler. I would have loved to have seen some actual, like, flashback scenes where he's being the butler, and, to see all these people and, like, their actual, like, stories for the reveals. But it's okay. It's still a perfect movie. Oh, I don't like that. Do not like that, Margarita. It has this undertaste. But what I was going to say is that you guys know, not all shots in movies need to be the same. Like, you don't always have to do this, you don't always have to do that. Like, that's not a way of making art. But I love how some of these shots, they aren't afraid to have quote-unquote obstacles in front of the camera. I love how you have some of these shots of people and they have the candles in front of their faces, and these sort of, these things that really block you from getting a quote-unquote perfect view, because I think it makes it look like a much richer image, like to have like all this stuff. And by the way, guys, that's a portrait of George Washington right there. I think that's pretty interesting. I wonder if anyone's ever analyzed this movie. I'm barely through my blue margarita and I don't even want it anymore. Tonight I'm going to have lasagna, so I'm just warning you guys, Safi is going to come in and bring me my piece because I don't want to have to pause this. And here is the part where the real Codsworth, is it Codsworth? Codsworth tries to escape. You too, Mr. Body. And what kind of plot hole is, why doesn't he call him out right there? Like, you're saying, you too, Mr. Body. And it's like, yeah, like, why are you calling me Mr. Body? The dogs are pretty scary. I've been on these door dashes, and these people, they have their dogs at the door sometimes. And it's just like so unnerving because, like, you don't know. There was one time where this family, they had their dog in the front, and it was like barking at me, and it was running around in circles and getting really close to me. And these little tiny kids had to run to the backyard and quickly get their parents to get the dog. I'm going to try the President Margarita. That is classic. There we go. Wow. Yeah. You guys want to know a little fun fact, a little trivia fun fact? The actress playing Yvette, she was in that shitty Eli Roth movie, Knock Knock. Yeah. What else should I say? I mean, this movie is very plot forward. And as I said, though, you can see it just in this scene all by itself. Like, Tim Curry is carrying the scene. I mean, it's the fact that he's so snarky and he's so judgmental and he's so personal. And, I think that's what makes him really good in this movie. Like, he carries the energy. Everyone else, they're playing these characters, but, like, Tim Curry's the one, he's bringing it home. It's kind of like The Mentalist, when you watch The Mentalist, Patrick Jane, he carries that show. Like, he just brings up the energy to another level. Yeah. I've seen this movie a million times. There's not really much interesting for me to say. Sometimes I get tired of it. I have a photographic memory, so, like, watching a movie is like watching it for, like, the 1,000th time. Sometimes. I think that if I had to rank these characters, I would probably say number 1 is Mr. Green. Number 2 is Mr. Body, the real Mr. Body, of course. Number 3 would be Colonel Mustard. Number 4, Mrs. White. She's amazing. And number 5 would be... That's where it gets tough, because I think the rest of them, they're good, but they just kind of come off like they're playing characters, you know? I guess Mrs. Peacock would be next. Mrs. White, she's a standout, you know, like, Madeline Kahn, very underrated actress. I actually watched, what was it? It was a Bruce Willis movie. I watched it just because it had her in it. Yeah. I mean, this woman, she comes off as like, I feel like she could carry a movie herself. Like, I would be interested to see a Mrs. White spinoff. And I bet you guys, if this movie came out nowadays, they would be all over that. Like a Clue spinoff, you know? And it would just be like the most absurd thing ever. You know, like Mrs. White has to solve a murder, and there's some stuff about her murder she's committed, you know? That'd be interesting. I don't know what else to say. And you guys want to know something else that's funny? I have Warhead's drink mix right here. I could literally put blue mix in water, and I could drink it for the rest of the evening, and I wouldn't even tell the difference, because it's like they both taste the same. But yeah, again, like Tim Curry, he says that that's the guy who's blackmailing you. Why doesn't the guy tell them, I'm not blackmailing you, Tim Curry is blackmailing you, dipshits? And I also got to mention, too, I love the fact that they set up the police are going to be here in 45 minutes, because what does that do, guys? That creates plot urgency. That creates a natural ticking clock. It's like in The Dark Knight, constantly. Ticking clock, ticking clock, ticking clock. Oh, if you don't do this, I'm going to do this. If you don't do this, I'm going to do this. The Joker. And it seems like a lot of movies, like, they want to naturally have, like, a ticking clock. Or, like, Breaking Bad. You know, the main character gets terminal cancer. That's a ticking clock. You know, and I think that for shows and movies that go on for a long period of time, they need to still have some kind of a ticking clock that keeps people interested. Now, this part, again, like, I just wonder, why is Mr. Body playing along? Or, I mean, not Mr. Why is Codsworth playing along with Mr. Body? Nice. Mrs. White gets that rope in her fingers, and I'm just like, hell yeah. You can put that rope around my neck later on. And you guys realize, like, how funny it is? I never even thought about this, but you realize that they say Mr. Green is like a secretly gay, closeted gay, and they give him a pipe. Like, you guys realize the symbolism of that, right? The symbolism of Mr. Green gets the pipe. Mr. Green likes the pipe. Yeah. Here's a good question for you guys watching. I mean, not Codsworth, Wadsworth. Who is Codsworth? Is that Fallout 4? Yeah. I would love to play more video games. Like, it takes so long to download shit on the PS4. Like, I have been downloading a Call of Duty game for like a week. I love this scene. It's totally crazy. It's very uncomfortable too. Like, just imagine actually doing this. Like, giving a room full of people that you don't know weapons, and then turning off the lights and saying, kill someone. Like, that is just like a disaster waiting to happen. And of course, he's not the first person, he's not the last person to die. And I think that's another thing I love about this movie is that, you know, this movie has like 1 million victims. 1 million. And that's not even counting the fourth ending. If you guys don't know, there's a fourth ending where Wadsworth reveals that he poisoned everybody with the cognac, which I have never had cognac. I would love to try it. Oh, I should have gotten cognac. That would have been good. God, that would have been so much smarter. I'm such an idiot. Oh yeah, this part's funny. I love this part with the slapping Mrs. Peacock. And I love it because I love how you're seeing all this stuff, and then later on in the movie, Tim Curry reenacts it all, and he does these incredible impressions. But Tim Curry reveals he poisoned the cognac, and he's the only one who has the antidote, and so he takes the antidote, and then everyone else dies, which I thought was a really, really depressing and creepy ending. And then he tries to escape in the car, and then the dogs are in the back seat and they kill him. And I thought that would have been such a great ending. I think that would have been a better ending than the third one. Huh. Okay, I got it. Okay, I changed it. I changed my mind, guys. I've changed it. Mrs. White is my favorite one. Suck on that. I'm watching this woman. I perform. I'm watching her and I'm just obsessed. Like, she is just so perfect in this role. Okay, so it would be Mrs. White, and then Mr. Green, and then Tim Curry. No, Tim Curry's really the best. No, see. Huh. Oh, yeah, this is great. You guys realize they're like, you're not the butler, and for a second you could see in Tim Curry's face, he has this realization of like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have. And then he has to make up the story. Let's look up to see. I'm curious. How old are all the other Clue stars? Clue. Cast. Yeah. I prefer the president drink. Here we are. When did Madeline Kahn die? Oh, 1999. Oh. She was so good. Is there any movies with... Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite jokes is when Mr. Green collapses the whole table. I mean, that's just absurd. Miss Scarlet. Okay, she's 80. Uh-oh. She might die too this year. Yvette is not 80. Of course, Mrs. Peacock is dead. She died when she was 80. Oh my god, guys, that's weird. Christopher Lloyd. You know, I think one of the only things that doesn't work for me about this movie is the constant, like, socialism, like, jokes. Like, they're good, like, once, twice, or maybe 3 times, but, like, they're constant throughout the movie. You know, the whole red herring joke. I think that could have been dialed back a little bit. Because it was just overdone, you know. Christopher Lloyd is older. Michael McKean, how old is he? He's 78. Okay, that's good. He's in the safe zone. Oh, Mr. Body is still alive. Or the fake Mr. Body. Yeah. So basically, Tim Curry, and you know what is really interesting about this movie is that the real Mr. Body, or not the real, the fake Mr. Body, he didn't really display any contempt for these people. And this Mr. Body, you know, the real one, throughout the whole movie, he's always passing judgment at people and making these snarky comments and talking about, you know, them, and it's just like it actually is very smart, very obvious that he is the real bad guy because he clearly has contempt for these people. And, you know, the whole story here is like, oh, this guy Mr. Body, he found all this stuff out and he couldn't stand it, and so he wanted to punish all these people. And of course, I love the idea of secret passages. I know that that's typically like a mystery thing. A mystery movie plot device. But I wish that more like movies incorporated like secret passages. I love Colonel Mustard's threat there. I would kill you next. Uh-oh. God, Mrs. White. She's incredible. I like how all of these cast members, they have their own little moments of intelligence. They have all of their own little highlight moments where they get to, you know, like, figure things out and make accusations of sorts. It's very on par with the game. Uh-oh. Where's Wadsworth? Or where's where's the real Wadsworth? I want my lasagna. Yeah, and the whole thing about the doctor, Dr. Plum, Professor Plum, him not knowing that a guy is dead. I mean, that's such a glaring red flag. Yeah. Nice little, very subtle jokes here. Oh shit. And you have to say too, Miss Scarlet is smart because she immediately thinks that Wadsworth is the one, or maybe he's blackmailing. And I think that was another moment for Wadsworth. I'm getting so confused with these names. This is another moment. Oh. Oh, wow. It's lasagna! I hope it's good and I don't get food poisoning. Thank God. Thank God. I need the lasagna. I need it. Oh, shit! That always scared me as a kid, that whole jump scare with I'm still screwing up the names. That scared the shit out of me as a kid. This is another great joke. Tim Curry, and he just doesn't catch her at all. Now, I will say that's one of the best jokes of the movie. It's one of the best jokes because, in these old movies, you'd always have the scene where, the leading man catches the woman, or he, whatever, and then they kiss or whatever, and in this movie, they make fun of that. He doesn't catch her at all. She just falls on the floor. And of course, another great joke, Tim Curry getting knocked out. And the constant having to move like human people all over these dead bodies, and that just gets like repeated throughout the whole movie. But it's another great idea about the movies. Like you never would think about this, like how much people weigh, and it's a very Hitchcockian idea. So yeah, here's my lasagna. I hope I don't get sick. We would have had it yesterday. We probably should have. A food truck came, and we decided to have the food truck food because we all got free $10 vouchers. So we probably could have gotten the food and then reheated it today. That probably would have been the better thing to do. Another great joke. See, the jokes in this movie, they just keep coming. I love the constant throughout the movie, the coming to the door, and like the reorganizing, picking up bodies, carrying bodies, displaying bodies. So many cool things that they repeat throughout this movie. And it's just so smart. You never get a movie as smart as this nowadays. Aren't there like 3 people who get killed? Like 3 people who come to the door and shit? This is a fast-paced movie. I wish I could have lasagna every day. Because you know what you could do? Any of the sauce that you have left over, you could have spaghetti. Guess what my favorite food is? Spaghetti. Yeah. This is another leading up to another great joke. Colonel Mustard pouring the drinks and he pours all over and I think I copied that for my movie. There's a scene where I think I did where he has to pour drinks for people and he just like pours all over like that. What I was going to say, though, was that you guys notice how Mr. Body, he locked all the weapons in the cabinet, and then he wouldn't let anyone have the key. He threw one away. Because why? Because he is Mr. Body. He hates all these people. He doesn't trust these people. So, you know, that was totally in character. And this is actually a really interesting viewing for me because, you know, as a kid, I used to kind of get upset the fact that the whole movie, I liked the idea that, like, Tim Curry, he was on the right side. You know, he was on the good team. And it was always really jarring for me as a kid, like, oh, he's actually the real bad guy. I love Colonel Mustard talking about how this is war and there's going to be casualties. Like, that's such a big red flag. This movie's going by so fast. It's unbelievable. I didn't even realize we were this far into the movie. This is another ticking clock, by the way. Because these matches, like, the lengths of them, they are like physical, literal ticking clocks because the power goes out. And see, I believe that Tim Curry is the one who turns off the power, and it just makes so much sense because, like, he's giving, like, if you guys think about it, like, he gives all these people matches so that he can what? So that he can turn off the power, and, like, these people need matches, and, like, how did he know? You know? Because he's the one who turned off the power. Never thought about that before. And I love this joke from Professor Plum Mrs. Peacock, it's you and me, honey bunch. I'd have to think, like, which of these characters I would want to play in, like, a Clue remake. I know that Ryan Dipshit Reynolds talked about making a Clue movie, a Clue reboot, which nobody wants from him. But if I got any choice, what role could I have? I don't even know that I would want a role. I don't know, like, I don't know if any of these roles I would really fit very well, you know? And I know that's funny coming from me, because if you guys don't know, I'm starring in all my films. But it really is a thing of, like, if I wouldn't fit a role, I wouldn't, be in a role. I wouldn't sign up to do a role. I'm not just going to be in the Clue movie to be in the Clue movie, So, yeah. I know that might surprise people. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't think any of these characters I would really gravitate towards playing. Unless people would want to see me play a character. And I would do it then. You guys notice something else, by the way? Tim Curry chose the longest matches for himself. Why is that, guys? If he's not the one who turns the power off, why is that? Oh, I love this joke where one just doesn't walk in front of the other. They have to fit through this bar thing at the same time. It's just so absurd. I copy that all the time because we have this kitchen. It's a really small kitchen. I copy that all the time where I'm like, okay, we got to fit through this at the same time. Yeah. This sequence always used to really creep me out as a kid. Because I was always thinking, they could have done anything that they wanted with this movie. So as a kid, I thought, is there a possibility that there's another killer in the house? Or two, or three. I don't know. And we're coming up to what used to be what I thought was the scariest sequence as a kid. I love the darkness in this. Nowadays, what really sucks about movies is that, everything is dark, everything is desaturated, so you can't ever have any creepy, cool moments like this because there's no differences, there's no contrast. Just can't get that kind of thing anymore. Excuse me. Yeah, this is the scariest part from when I was a kid watching this, where Miss Scarlet has to look behind the curtains and shit. I got really scared of this as a kid because I thought there could be someone there. Could be. Something I did at the dentist as a kid a lot, by the way. I would get anesthetic and laughing gas. And so I would bite my cheeks until they started bleeding, and the dentist had to tell me to stop biting my cheeks. And so that happened every time because I was like, it's like bubble gum. Yeah. You guys want to know what role or what roles I would like to play, to be honest? If I could pick any major franchise roles, one of them would be in Twin Peaks. As I've said before, I'd love to do Twin Peaks. I would go to 10 seasons. But I would also love to be on in a Flintstones movie. Ryan Gosling just announced that he was doing a Flintstones movie himself. I love to do Flintstones. But speaking of lasagna, I think it would be great to do a Garfield. I think I'd be a pretty good Garfield. Boom. Colonel Mustard uses his own weapon to kill this guy. Yeah. Idiot. Lasagna and Clue. Great pairing. If you guys are and by the way, guys, you know what this mansion kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of the first Resident Evil, which is really interesting because, I mean, I really have to wonder if they were inspired by this movie in making that game. And I'm not saying that they copied, because it's very clearly like that they did their own thing. But, and here Colonel Mustard discovers his murder victim. Yvette's boobs jiggle. Yeah. God, those are amazing breasts. I'm not even a breast man. I'm not even a boob guy. But, like, those are just, like, perfection. What was I saying, though? What was I going to say? Was I going to say something important? Probably not. Is Tim Curry here with us right now? Tim Curry, tell me what you think of my commentary. It's a piece of shit, Marco! Thank you, Tim Curry. That was very helpful of you. I didn't even have to have the sound on, and I saw, oh yeah, here's the gun, the chandelier. Oh shit! God, this movie's great. I forgot how just great this movie was. Like, this is what's great about, like, savoring a movie and watching it once in a while. You forget about this incredible shit, and oh god, it's gonna fall. That was karma. Colonel Mustard just got straight karma. He got shot at, and then he almost got hit with a chandelier. I mean, that was straight up karma. I'm almost done with my blue drinky poo. Now I'm done with my lasagna. I'm trying to look at all these actors' faces in these scenes to see their reactions and to see the body language. Body language. Pun intended. I'm surprised that I'm not more fucked up. You guys know something? I had like a buzzball in May. You guys remember, I did a drunken Daredevil Born Again Season 2 character ranking. Drunk with a buzzball. And all it took was one buzzball to really mess me up. Here we got the cop. An actual likable cop, mind you. 36 minutes or so left. Yeah. Hell yeah. I love too, speaking of the game, I love how we're going down a checklist of like all the rooms in the board game, you know? Yeah. Trying to think what else to say, guys. Just enjoying my drink. It's pretty good. Oh, yep. Not the cognac. And that's setting up that fourth ending. But when I had that buzzball, it was so bad that I was dizzy. I was gonna fall. I was gonna fall over because I was getting knocked the hell out. Yeah. I love the music. I think the music is creepy. I love this too. I know what's coming up. There's a call from J. Edgar Hoover. Yeah, I love this. He's like, I'm going to imprison you all for murder. And they're all just like, what are you talking about? See, I think this is one of the flaws with the script. I would probably say, I don't know what you guys think, but Mr. Body hears that somebody in this house possibly has gotten a fall from J. Edgar Hoover. Even if he's the bad guy and he knows he's hot shit, like, he would be scared shitless. So you would think that at that point, if I were Mr. Body, I don't know, because, he wanted to blackmail these people, but at that point, you would have to come up with a plan to figure out which one of these people is connected to Hoover, kill them, and then frame somebody else for all the murders, and then blackmail the rest or something. But instead, it doesn't really seem to shake up Tim Curry very much. I want to tell you guys a story in a minute. I love what they do with the bodies here, where they're kissing the bodies and pretending they're having like a... Mrs. White especially, I wish that were me. It's really kind of morbid too. I mean, this is this is just classic Hitchcock, with the... I mean, just imagine, guys, having to do stuff with a dead body and having to prop it up and Just, oh. It really, it kind of gives you a stomach ache. But as I was at, or like, I don't know if I should tell you guys yet. What I will tell you guys this: if you guys are enjoying this commentary, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, comment, and if you would like to see the second commentary, which will be a drunken commentary of Black Deep Throat, then please head on over to Patreon and subscribe to the first tier. Because what I will do is every month, at the end of the month, I will do 2 commentaries. I will do one for Patreon and one for YouTube. For free! For free! Oh, I dropped my earphone! Oh, shit! There we go. Maybe I should... You know what would be really funny? After this commentary, I should have Safi film me trying to walk a straight line. That'd be really funny. Almost done with the drink. First drink. But I want to tell you guys a little story about Clue. Because, as I've already told you guys, I grew up watching this movie. I love this movie. You know what, guys? I would want to be the cook. If they were to make a Clue movie and I could have any role, I would want to be the cook. Because I think that would be a cool role. And I think it would be fun. And I think that's probably the role that I would fit if I were to be in a Clue movie. So I just wanted to say that because, you know, it's true. I probably could play any of these roles, though, to be honest. I could do it. Anyone could. And that's something that's really interesting that I've discovered about actors is that, like, even though it ends up being where, like, there is the one person who fits the role and they play the role, it really kind of feels like, for all the roles, like, it feels like anybody could play a role, you know? Yeah. The vet's gonna die. Who kills the vet? Isn't it, Miss Peacock? Or is it Miss Scarlet? Yeah, I think it's Miss Scarlet. Nice. That scene always creeped me out as a kid. This scene, too. I mean, the darkness here. The darkness in these shots. The lighting. So good. He gets piped. I love how you don't even get to see the hit there. Oh, here's the... That has got to be the most brutal kill of the movie. That's another kill. I mean, shit. Oh yeah, this is my favorite. Tim Curry gets the shower. Is this another door? Isn't it funny how you have 2 shower jokes with Tim Curry, one in this movie and one in Home Alone 2? I mean, God, I love this movie. This commentary is so much fun because it's just an excuse to watch Clue. So suck on that, everybody. But yeah. So I want to tell the story before this movie gets to the tail end, before it gets to the real good stuff, with Tim Curry being like, "Oh, I feel like maybe I should explain everything." Yeah. Oh yeah. That El Presidente's got some kick. It's got some bite. So when I was in 8th grade, all the English teachers conspired together to create this, like, quote-unquote fun activity where everybody would go to English classrooms and we would all watch Clue, and then we would spend the second half of the day figuring out a murder mystery around the teachers and the librarian. And I think it ended up to where, like, it ended up to where one of the English teachers was a killer or something. It was really lame. And I love that this is getting serious because there's all these bodies. I'm going to pause really quickly because I just wanted to say it was such an awkward thing because, I was so used to watching Clue and just loving every minute of it, but, watching it with all these sheltered shithead kids with me, they really didn't connect with the movie the same way, and it felt like at certain points I was the only one laughing at the movie, and the whole event, it was so lame. And you know what the worst part of it was? This was a really shitty school, this middle school that I went to. It was one out of 3 shitty schools I went to. But what was really shitty was that after they did this event, these teachers held it over us for the entire rest of the year. They were like, "We did this thing for you. We did all this big thing for you." And it's just like, fuck you. Like, just straight up like, fuck you. Like, who do you think you are? Like, it's obvious, like, obviously we should have some appreciation, but, like, they really, like, held it over us. Like, they had done something so, like, life-changing and incredible. And this was how shitty that school was that, like, you'd expect a certain, like, standard of behavior with teachers and students, and you just didn't get it at this school, Ankeny Middle School in Beaver Creek, Ohio. You did not get that kind of standard behavior. You got really horrible teachers. There was one teacher, and at a certain point, he was actually, like, poking me in the stomach and, like, taunting me about a school project being late. Just really, really shitty teachers. But for a while, that kind of ruined the movie for me. It ruined Clue. Because, I would think about that shitty school. And I would miss school all the time. And I'm glad that I did it because it was worth it to stay away from that disgusting place. So this is my favorite part of the movie. Favorite part. Because at this point, Tim Curry takes the movie and he just puts that thing on his back. Like, the Atlas guy. Isn't the guy named Atlas, who has the earth on his back? That's like Tim Curry in this part. Rest in peace, Tim Curry. Oh God, you guys want to know what's really interesting? The other day, I had no idea why I put on Tales from the Crypt, Death of a Salesman. Death of Some Salesman. And, that one has Tim Curry playing 3 roles. Now I know why. I was sensing Tim Curry was going to go, and just, it really sucks. I wished I could have met Tim Curry, He's definitely, he was like in my top tier of actors that I really loved. And I won't get to meet him. Oh, hell yeah. I want to go get some ice for this one. The El Presidente is so thick. It's nice and thick and sweet and tasty. No, he turns off the lights. They all scream at the top of their lungs. Tim Curry's on the floor. I love that. Coming up to the best part where he does the slap. I think he slaps Mr. Green in the face, or he gets slapped in the face. I had a teacher in high school named Mr. Green, actually, so it's not totally a strange name, He was a pretty good teacher, pretty good. He was fun. I actually ended up being his aide. Oh yeah, he slaps Mrs. Peacock. See, guys, that I don't know if you guys recognize this, but this is another callback to old movies. In old movies, you would always have a part where a woman gets slapped in the face. And it's played really straight, like, cut out your bullshit and just slap you in the face. And, so they were making fun of that here. And I love this part. He's running across the hall with the dagger and that energy. High energy. You know something else, guys? You know something else that I think is really interesting? Imagine being Wadsworth, like the real Wadsworth, and having to battle this guy who has like all these secret passages and shit. And it's like, you gotta wonder, is Mr. Body like the Jeffrey Epstein of the 1950s? Because why does he have these secret passages? Yeah. Now we get the real info. Sorry, guys. I just want to watch this part. Yeah, here we go. This is the standout Mrs. White moment. And wait, is it? No, it's not. We're coming up to it. Love it. They were going to send the pictures to his mother, but his mother's dead. Sorry, guys. I love this part. I really love it. Oh, wait a second. That's not George Washington. That's, I think that's Adams. I think. So, sorry, guys. I think I was mistaken there. Or am I? I don't know. You know how this movie has 3 endings, guys? I wrote a really good vampire high school horror movie, very mean-spirited 1980s style horror movie, and I actually have 5 endings in that one. Because I thought, why hasn't any other... And see, that's another thing I'm wondering. Why hasn't any... I love how he straight up hit Mr. Green over the head with his fist. See, there you go, guys. That's another kind of key piece of evidence, is that... I don't know, like, I forgot if Wadsworth or Mr. Body had figured out if he was an FBI agent. But the fact that he hits him over the head and he throws him in the toilet, it's like he really has strong contempt for Mr. Green. Why is that? I'm sleepy. Oh. I love the line, "You can keep a secret, so can I." Because, you know, what does that imply? It implies that Wadsworth has his own little secret, and it's the biggest secret of all. Yeah. Colonel Mustard is cooked. You guys want to know what game I played as a kid? I played this game much more than the board game. I went to, I think it was Office Depot. Office Depot. They would have games. They had computer games. They had a PC version of a series of unfortunate events, and they had a Clue. And it was really interesting because the Clue game was actually very, very creepy and moody. They had these... you guys should really look this up. They had these really scary scenes of like the murders, and it was like a thunderstorm and like this really scary lighting and shit. It was really fun. Computer game. I also play, and this is just very obvious, this part where Colonel Mustard killed the driver. It's like he had the personal connection to the driver. Obviously, he killed him. Like, that is the most blatantly obvious murder out of all of them. But, another version of this game, I actually got the VHS Clue from Goodwill. And it was really interesting. You know, it was... I don't know why I got it, you know. It was just kind of like an impulse buy. You know, as a kid, I would go to Goodwill and get, like, just random shit. But, the VHS game's pretty interesting. And, of course, now we have the FBI is on scene at this mansion. Nice. Nobody uses the term beatnik anymore. I don't even know what beatnik means. Honestly. I know that they use the... And oh yeah, and here we go with Mr. Body turns off the lights and he says the murderer flips off the lights. And you know what's really interesting, guys, is that he's telling on himself there. And really, to be honest, the third ending is definitely the real ending. You know, there really is no debate. Like, I think there he is the one who turns off the lights. Or is it? I can't remember. Yeah. Miss Scarlet. Or Yvette. Forgot. I love seeing this little scene where we actually get to see these murders happen and shit. These secret scenes revealed. She's actually pretty dastardly, Yvette. No. 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 Miss Scarlet, yeah. See, you can tell that they wrote this ending first. Probably because from what I can remember, like, they leave in that Miss Scarlet killed Yvette in the final ending, and it's like, why is that? Because it's the ending that makes the most sense. It's the one that makes most sense. But is an ending, I actually think it's interesting too that you guys, if you realize, 2 out of the 3 endings, the female characters are the main murderers. And what I think is interesting about that is because I think it's another part of, like, trying to make this movie, like, old school, like an old movie, old style movie, because, you know, you'd have femme fatales, you'd have these deadly female characters, and it's interesting and fun to see them subvert, like, all the male characters. And it's also interesting how Mrs. White, she, I can't remember if she's the one who kills anybody. I'll have to pay attention in the third ending. But you know something that would have been interesting is Mrs. White not killing anybody. And why would that be interesting? Because white is pure. It's innocence. You know, like the classic, like, somebody wears black, they're evil. Somebody wears white. It's like an angel type of symbolism, I guess. So that's probably what I would have done if I did the movie. Have the person named Mrs. White not kill anybody, because that would represent, like, she's innocent. She's pure and innocent at the same time. Hell yeah. I got some missing points. I took some surveys earlier. I didn't get any points, so I just had to check there real quickly. You can kind of see here, if you really look at things, you can see the writers figuring out who committed the murders on screen, talking about how many bullets were shot where and when and for who. Yeah, here's the police. Here they are. And Colonel Mustard says, I'm only a guest. I love that. That's a great line. I mean, I think that Miss Scarlet, she is great. Like, she did a great job. It's just that compared to some of these other characters, like, they give iconic, never-ending... I mean, this movie is going to be remembered until the end of time. Yeah. That's how it could have happened. Okay. How about this? Fucking Mrs. Peacock's bitch ass. This is probably the most entertaining ending, honestly, out of them all. I love how it just gets more and more chaotic. You would have to be on your A game. Just imagine, guys, having to do this ending, having to do multiple takes. It'd be really tough. Yeah. And this is my favorite joke. Is that what we ate? Yeah. And of course, we're going to get that line again. Monkey's brains, though popular in Cantonese cuisine, are not often to be found in Washington, D.C. You know, like, he says it the next time with such fervor, intensity, whatever. You know? But Mrs. Peacock, she's kind of like Mr. Green in that, you know, the whole movie, she gives this kind of performance where you don't really expect anything from her, and then at the end here, you get this really, really different kind of character where she turns out to be really evil. Huh. I love this part where they all sing for her. Yeah. Genius. It just kind of completes it all. Not only do they have multiple endings, but they also have a scene where they all sing a song together. To be honest, this is probably the cleanest ending out of all three. I think it's the cleanest ending because it kind of... I don't know. I don't even know anymore. It's the cleanest ending because... ... I don't even know. Oh yeah, because you get this great scene outside. I mean, it's almost like a 2-part ending. It's like a 2-part thing. And... I love the spotlight. Something really cool, though, that you can see in the Clue game, in the PC game. Oh, wait. Mrs. Peacock was a man. That was a great line. But in the PC game, you can actually... But here's what really happened. You can see... Sorry, I'm going to pause again. You can see the characters in jail. Like, at the end of the game, you actually see them in a jail cell. And Again, it's a very moody game. It's actually even moodier than this movie, and it's got the thunderstorm element, and it's really creepy. I highly recommend that game. Yeah. So this is the grand finale. I mean, this is the ending where you can tell this is the ending that the writers meant for. Yeah. I'm not getting any drunker at all, guys. I'm just kind of floating from whatever. I'm just like the samesies. Oh. This is the best. Yeah. This is the monkey's brains. That is Oscar-worthy line delivery. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And see, I think that Miss Scarlet, I think that, that whole part where he just abandons her. Oh, yeah, okay, Mrs. White kills Yvette. Okay, I forgot. I remember the exact shot, but, none of these people should have let each other, separate, Even for a second. Even to go to the bathroom. Because somebody could get killed. So basically the answer here is they all did it. And here we go with Mrs. White's line delivery. Oscar-worthy line delivery. That's creepy as hell. Flames. That gives Lindsay Clancy vibes. That answer she just gave there. There's flames on the side of my face. What the hell? And she killed the cop. Yeah. See, I will say, I think... Yeah. The reason why I don't think that this ending is really the best ending, personally, is because I feel like it's almost kind of a cop-out, literally, to say that in a game where the whole objective is you have to figure out who the one murderer is, I almost think that it's a bit of a cop-out to have every single character be the killer. Except for Mr. Green, I guess. I chose to expose myself. I just think it's too perfect. It's too cutesy. I think that, it would have been better for it to just be one person, maybe two people. Yeah. Whoa. I'm going to take a drink. I'm going to take a break from the drink. I have a bit of a stomach ache from that lasagna. Yeah. Mr. Body gets killed The real Mr. Body. To end the movie. It's kind of interesting. And he dies right here. Wow. Yeah. I think this ending is the second best out of the three. But I think that the best ending's the Mrs. Peacock one. I think that's the one that just feels... I don't know. Yeah. That one was kind of cutesy too, though, with the whole thing of how Wadsworth works for J. Edgar Hoover. But it is a good explanation, for all the things going on and how he knew about them. Of course, this one has the... I mean, the movie's over now. After that whole thing. Yeah. So, that is an incredible movie. And, I'm so glad that I did this. I'm so glad that I waited, because if I had chosen to do this commentary on Monday or Tuesday, it would have been a Scream 4 commentary. And I'm really glad that instead of that I waited to do this Clue commentary in honor of Tim Curry. I just think it was the right thing to do, instead of doing just something, just something that I could do at any time. Scream 4, the Scream movies, it just wasn't as urgent or important as Clue. And I also kind of copied this playing card thing a little bit for my movie as well. I have it's a tribute. It's not a copy, but what I do is I have a character who has a card next to his face on the screen, and it looks really cool. But anyways, thank you everyone for watching this commentary. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I haven't done a commentary for a while, so that was really interesting to do. I'm tired now. I'm beat. But I will be doing another commentary immediately. Almost immediately. I'm probably going to go get some dessert or shit. Maybe I should get a piece of fruit instead. But again, hope you guys like the commentary. And if you do, please give this video a like, comment, and tell me what you think of Clue. And then please subscribe to our channel if you would like to see more commentaries and fun videos like this. And last but not least, please check out our Patreon page where you can get access to tons of exclusive content, bonus content, and tons of stuff coming soon. So that's it. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.